Hey guys, it's Tony Gattari here from Achievers Group with another passionate yet extremely practical business video vitamin. Guys, today I really wanted to share with you what I consider to be the 5 types of sales representatives. Now, recently I read a lot of sales books, like sales books are in my DNA. I love them, I get inspired by them. They really help me, they clarify many things in my life. And one of the books that I recently read was a book called The Challenger Sale by Dixon and Adamson. Great book, really instinctively reinforced stuff that I knew in my life, but sometimes in sales you don't know why you're successful and you think it's some sort of, you've got this magic formula. It's not really. It's just certain principles that I've actually applied, and I saw my success in this book because in many ways this is what I do in complex sales. And what I wanted to do is that in this book they classified 5 different types of sales representatives, and they tried to determine who was the most successful in simple sales. And when I talk simple sales, let's use that as a retail sale, for example. You come to me to buy a PC, you come to me to buy a car, for example. And then they talked about the complex sale, and a complex sale would be, where I'm prospecting, there is a high dollar value sale, there is integrated parties actually in there, there are key decision makers, and there's a whole process going on of due diligence that could be going on with a client. And I wanted to share with you essentially some insights. I wanted to go through what are the 5 types, and I want to show you which one wins in complex sales and why they win, and what you need to do moving forward if you are one of the others, because you may not necessarily be getting the results that you actually want. So let's just talk about the 5 different types of sales representatives. Number 1 type is the hard worker. Now, the hard worker, let's be really honest, they're always willing to go the extra mile, okay? Doesn't give up easily, so they have tenacity. They're self-motivated, and they're interested in feedback and development. So that's the first type of sales representative. Second type of sales representative is the challenger. Now, they always have a different view of the world. They understand the customer's business. They inherently understand it. They seek to understand before they provide the prescription. They do the diagnosis really well. They do the examination really well. They love to debate. Interesting. They challenge people. They question. They don't always agree with the prospect. It sounds really weird. They're not nodding their head saying yes to everything. They're actually saying, I don't necessarily agree with that. Now that can be really confrontational if you've never done that before. And they push the customer. Number 3 type of, third type of sales representative is the relationship builder. He really builds strong advocates in the customer's organisation. So he builds relationships at multiple levels. He's generous in giving time to others. He gets along with everybody, he's like Mr. Popularity. He's genuine and pretty accessible, gives time to help others. Number 4 type of salesperson is the lone wolf. Follows own instincts. Self-assured, self-confident, almost arrogant, difficult to control. And the last type of salesperson we've actually found is the reactive problem solver. Reliably responds to internal and external stakeholders, ensures that all problems are solved, incredibly detail-orientated. Now, what they found is that in high performance, in salespeople who are high performers, this is what they actually found. They found that 39% of the high-performing salespeople were challengers. They pushed the boundaries. The second largest category was the lone wolf. So you can actually see the lone wolf and the challenger represent over 60%. The relationship builder, the one we all love, only represents 7% of the high-performing salespeople. The hard worker, 17%, and the reactive problem solver. So you can actually see the challenger is by far the best type of salesperson to get amazing results according to this book. Now, as you can see here in this particular diagram, and I just wanted to show you this diagram because it's really, really important, there are 2 graphs here. The one is the low complex sale and the other one is the high complex sale. And the most amazing thing and the most staggering thing is that in a high complex sale, it is clearly evident to me that the challenger whips every other type of salesperson. They are essentially, as you can see in this graph, 54% they are successful. They represent 54% of that success in complex sales is to the challenger type of salesperson. The challenger is very likely to succeed in a complex sale environment. The relationship builder is very unlikely to succeed. But if we look at more low complex sales, you can actually see the challenger is actually not so successful. The hard worker can be really successful. They get the numbers just through activity. So I just wanted to highlight that to you. Now, what's the difference? Why is the challenger so successful? And why are they so successful? And what sets them apart from the rest? Well, they always offer the customer a unique perspective. They challenge the customer. They say, what if? They're not traditionalists. They are pushing the boundaries. They have strong two-way communication. They are looking not as a monologue, but as a dialogue. They know the individual's customer value drivers. Not only the company's one, but the individuals. They're actually focused on, I understand that you want something in your life too. What's in it for them? Not just the company, but for them. They can identify the economic drivers of the customer's business. So one is macro, one is micro. They are incredibly comfortable discussing money. I mean, brutally, apparently obvious. Hey, to them, not scared by it. And they can pressure the customer. They can close. They really do have an innate ability to ask for the order. Now, as you can see in this particular slide, what the challenger rep does so successfully is they do what we call the three T's. They, number one, teach for differentiation. So essentially, they invest very heavily in the education of the customer. They are very content driven. They tailor things around what the customer wants and they take control. So what the challenger does really, really, really well to make them really successful is they teach. So the concept of, do our salespeople teach or do they just vomit over the customer? Teach. Content. Develop great content. Number two is they take control. They actually say these are the next steps and they tailor things around what the actual customer wants. So that is the process that they go through. So guys, I just really wanted to share that with you. I think that's a great insight. And all I can suggest to you is that if you are in complex sales and you're really struggling in this area of complex sales and you're actually trying to work out in your own head, how come? I would strongly suggest that you actually move towards more of a challenger style of characteristic, if that's possible in you, where you really push the boundaries. I think you might get an enormous amount of cut through because I do this instinctively. I challenge people when I sell to them because I really don't care if I lose or win the sale. I'm there fundamentally to help them to solve a problem. And sometimes I'm actually going to have to highlight that they have a problem. And sometimes I'm going to actually have to ask them what that problem really means to them. And I'm going to ask them, if you don't change that problem, what will that do to your life? Those are really challenging questions, but they are necessary questions in order to really create change, because change will only occur when the person is basically, we only change where the pain of where we're at is greater than the pain of change. And a great challenger highlights the pain of the current situation and in many ways by taking control and taking a leadership position minimizes the actual pain of change by doing it in steps with confidence, not arrogance, and leadership. So guys, I wanted to give you that great teaching. Until next time, God bless you. Have the most amazing week. Bye.